Oh, hi there! Welcome to another episode of the Okanagan Gardener and Forager channel. Here I am in beautiful Lake Country, BC, and I am on location at Ghostly Garlic. And instead of listening to me talk about garlic, I've got a real garlic farmer here to talk. So let's go talk to him. Oh, hi there, Farmer Nick. Can you tell me about what you do here?
Well, we've got a garlic farm located on Cemetery Road in beautiful Lake Country, British Columbia. We are named Ghostly Garlic, and we do a bunch of farmers markets across the Okanagan. We sell garlic salt blends and a bunch of garlic powders. And we grow all the garlic ourselves, the hot peppers, and most of the herbs. So yeah, this is what we do.
How long have you been doing this for?
We've been growing garlic for 9 years, and we've been doing the business for 3 now.
And why did you get into garlic farming?
I got into garlic farming by going to one little farmer's market stand outside of Volcanic Hills Winery, and they had this beautiful Hungarian garlic, absolutely delicious. And then after we tried it that night, cooking with it, we went back the next day and bought the last 20 bulbs they had and built a 4x8 planter box. And then 3 years later in our property in West Kelowna, we ended up with about 18 4x8 boxes and a couple of huge other beds with about 1,000 bulbs of garlic. And then we had to move from West Kelowna, and we moved to Lake Country, and now we have planning to have about 80,000 bulbs in the ground this year.
Awesome. Today Nick is going to take us through some of his tips for growing garlic.
So we're on to our first tip of the day, bulb selection. So we've got red Russian garlic here, got a massive, huge one. It's an extra large. And we've got some mediums here as well. So if you're in a big farm like me, you would probably want to plant the mediums because you'll get better bang for your buck, and leave these big ones to process for yourself and your products. But today, if you're going to want to have a big, strong bulb for next year, you'd want to pick the biggest bulb that you can. So first of all, we're going to go through clove selection. So to break apart these, I like to just slide my finger down one of the edges of the clove, just like that, and then peel away just like that. Okay, and this is a good sign here. You see no molds of any sort. It's been properly cured. So it's a pretty safe bulb to plant next year. So to select your cloves, you're going to want to break all of these apart. Just like this. You might have to dig your nail into the side there. And as you can see, we've got some big cloves and some smaller cloves. So for the next year, if you want a big, really huge bulb, I will be planting that big guy, this one, this guy here, that one, and this one. Most times, every bulb has got like this little baby clove in there. I would just save that one for eating. And then plant all these guys here.
Before you start planting, how do you prepare your soil?
So, this year, we've made raised beds, and we built a little attachment on the back of our tractor here that just funnels the dirt from our tiller into a nice 30-inch wide, 10-inch deep raised bed.
Do you add anything to the soil?
Yes, I do. So before we plant, I like to add a multi-purpose fertilizer, usually a 444. Gaia Green makes a really awesome one that we like to use. And I like to mix that into the soil. So once I make my raised bed, I sprinkle some of that stuff on top and then till it in once more. And then now you know that your garlic's going to have its essential nutrients it needs to have a good growing year.
Great! Now let's plant some garlic.
The fun stuff. So I've taken my medium bulb and I've broken it down myself into cloves. And for mediums, I like to only plant about 6 inches apart. Any further apart, you're just going to be using unnecessary space. So I like to grab the clove like this, about probably 3 inches, 4 inches away from the edge of my raised bed, and just root side down like you see there. This will be the tip. It's got a nice point. Just grab that bulb, and since it's nicely tilled, just push that down until there's about at least 2 inches of dirt on the tip of that clove. As you can see right there, there's the tip of the clove just poking out of the dirt there. Leave room for about 2 inches of soil, and then all you do is bury that guy. And I actually like to just, before I bury it, continue the whole row so I can see where my cloves go, like that, and then bury it once I'm done.
Okay, we've got the garlic in the ground, but I should have asked before, when do you plant it?
So you got to definitely plant in the fall. Doing a spring planting will result in really tiny small bulbs, so we like to plant mid-October. That gives the garlic enough time to create a good root system before it freezes and goes dormant in the winter.
And after you plant the garlic, do you mulch the garlic?
I personally haven't mulched before winter. I like to mulch in the spring. I use it specifically to suppress weed growth. So on each one of these beds, I will put about a 4-inch layer of straw underneath the drip lines that we're going to do next year, and hopefully that will keep most of the weeds at bay, and I won't have to spend my whole life picking them.
And what do you use to mulch?
Straw. You could use hay, but usually hay comes with a lot of other weeds that are attached to it, and that kind of affects your soil for years to come, having to fight all these weeds. So I would like to use straw myself. A lot less weeds with that.
Sounds good. Nick, once you've got the garlic in the ground, how do you water it?
So that's just it. Once the garlic's in the ground, we lay it to rest, and then we give it a good nice water so we get a good root growth before the garlic goes dormant before winter.
And do you water any more times in the fall?
Usually there's a bunch of snow and wet slush that happens, so as long as you water it in when you plant, you're usually okay until wintertime.
Nick, can you tell me what you do in the spring?
So when the garlic makes an appearance and starts poking out of the ground, I would go through and lay my mulch down, probably about 4 inches thick of straw. And then a little bit after that, once the garlic has grown through that and it's becoming to be a nice small plant, maybe about 6 inches tall, I like to give it a light foliar spray with an organic fish fertilizer, probably about at a 50% concentration.
Nick, thanks so much for having me here today. Where can people find you online?
Well, you can find us at Ghostly Garlic on Facebook and Instagram, or you can go to ghostlygarlic.com. You can check out our online store, or if you're in the Okanagan, you can see us in Vernon, Kelowna, Peachland, and a bunch of our local farmers markets.
And why are you called Ghostly Garlic, by the way?
Because we are on Cemetery Road. That's why we're ghostly.
Now, one question, Nick. We met at Lake Country Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. And I'd like to... I'm kind of bigger than you, but you all pretty much always beat me. Would you say it's the garlic that gives you superpowers?
The garlic is my secret. It's definitely why I have superpowers.
Thanks to Nick and Ghostly Garlic for having me here today. I'll put links to all of the social medias and the website in the description below. And if you like the video, then please give it a thumbs up, maybe leave a comment, and consider subscribing. Thanks for watching.